live in a time where the stakes have never been higher. You can feel it in the air. The tension, the weight, the quiet urgency that hums beneath every sunrise. Every decision we make now has consequences far beyond what we can see. We are living in an age of acceleration, where information moves faster than wisdom, and distraction moves faster than discipline. We're surrounded by chaos disguised as comfort, noise disguised as knowledge, pleasure disguised as peace. And somewhere inside that storm, you must stand still long enough to ask yourself, what am I really doing? Not what you tell others, not what you post, not what you plan to do, but what are you actually doing? Because every day, your actions are making a quiet declaration about who you are becoming. The harsh truth is, we are all investors, and our currency is time. Every scroll, every choice, every indulgence is an investment. Some yield power, others yield regret. You might not realize it yet, but you are running an invisible business. Your life, your energy, your habits, your attention, those are your assets. And like any business, if you fail to audit, you fail to grow. So, take a step back. Look at your life like a ledger. Ask the uncomfortable questions. How many of your actions today were investments in your future? And how many were withdrawals from it? How many of your words built something real? And how many just echoed into the void? How many hours did you feed your potential? And how many did you feed your distractions? This is not judgment. This is awareness. Because awareness is the first step toward evolution. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't transform what you won't track. And you can't ascend while you're still lying to yourself about why you're stuck. We live in an era of easy escapes, shortcuts disguised as rewards. Instant gratification has become the silent assassin of greatness. It steals your drive, one tiny dose at a time. You tell yourself it's harmless. A quick break, a moment of fun, a few more minutes of comfort. But comfort is never content with minutes. It demands more. It feeds on discipline until there's nothing left but a ghost of who you could have been. Escapism is not peace. It's sedation. And the sedated man never builds empires. He lives in simulation, addicted to the idea of progress, but terrified of the cost. You see, the real battle is not external, it's internal. The war is between the version of you that wants growth and the version that wants ease. Between the soul that seeks truth and the ego that seeks distraction. The more you avoid that war, the more power you lose. But when you face it, when you audit yourself and admit your weaknesses without flinching, you regain command over your fate. So here's the challenge. Perform a ruthless audit. Not of your finances, of your mind, of your heart, of your habits. Ask, am I becoming sharper or softer? Am I aligning my time with my purpose or just surviving another day? Am I living intentionally or reacting impulsively? Because this world is not forgiving of those who move without calculation. Every day you are being influenced by algorithms, by media, by peers, by your own undisciplined thoughts. And if you're not consciously programming yourself, something else is. Audit your mornings. Do they begin with intention or indulgence? Audit your nights. Do they end with progress or procrastination? Audit your emotions. Are they guiding you or governing you? Audit your circle. Do they sharpen your mind or dull your edge? If the answers sting, good. Pain is data. Pain is truth. Pain is the body's way of saying, this needs attention. The same applies to your soul. When you feel lost, drained, or disconnected, it's not punishment. It's a a sign that your internal system is out of balance. This is your wake-up call. We live in a time where uncertainty is the only constant. Economies shift overnight. Truth bends under pressure. Artificial minds speak louder than human hearts. And yet, in all this noise, one skill will determine who thrives and who fades. The ability to think clearly, live deliberately, and act strategically. The people who will rise in this era are not the loudest or the luckiest. They are the ones who are brutally honest with themselves. Those who can look in the mirror and say, "This is where I'm wasting time. This is where I'm playing small. This is where I'm afraid. And this is what I will change." Because you can't conquer the world if you haven't conquered your routine. You can't demand greatness while feeding mediocrity. You can't seek freedom while you still worship comfort. Audit the way you handle adversity. Do you collapse when the plan breaks down, or adapt and rebuild stronger? Audit your focus. Are you creating or consuming? Leading or following? Audit your desires. Are they born from your soul or implanted by the crowd? Understand this. Self-honesty is not self-criticism. It's self-respect. It's the moment you decide that your potential deserves better than your excuses. It's when you stop negotiating with your lesser self and start enforcing standards that reflect the warrior within. Yes, the world is uncertain. Yes, the future is volatile. But so what? Every generation has faced chaos. The only difference now is the speed of decay and the speed of creation. Which side you fall on depends entirely on your awareness and your discipline. When you begin to audit your soul daily, you stop reacting to life and start directing it. You begin to see patterns. You recognize triggers. You identify which actions drain you and which ones fuel you. Slowly, you become more deliberate, more dangerous, more in control. And then something shifts. You stop chasing dopamine and start pursuing meaning. You stop needing validation and start demanding excellence. You stop fearing uncertainty and start thriving in it. Because you've already done the internal math. You know what you stand for. You know what's worth sacrificing for. And you know what you will no longer tolerate within yourself. This world doesn't need more comfort seekers. It needs strategists of the spirit. It needs disciplined minds who can build clarity from chaos. It needs warriors of awareness who can see through illusion and act with precision. Audit your actions. Audit your energy. Audit your life. The truth you're avoiding is the very key that will unlock your freedom. If you can face that truth without flinching, without excuse, you become unstoppable. Because the man who knows himself cannot be manipulated. The man who audits his path cannot be led astray. The man who faces his own darkness doesn't fear the shadows of the world. So sharpen your awareness. Tighten your focus. Remember, in an age of uncertainty, self-awareness is the highest form of intelligence. And in a time where most are losing themselves to comfort, the few who dare to audit their souls will inherit the world. Step 1. Conduct the ruthless inventory. Before transformation comes truth, and before truth comes confrontation. You cannot ascend until you face what's been pulling you down. This is where the true audit begins, not with others, not with circumstance, but within yourself. The ruthless inventory is not a feel-good ritual. It's an excavation of the soul. It's you, alone, staring at the wreckage and the architecture of your life without filters, without excuses, without illusions. It's a battlefield between who you pretend to be and who you truly are. Sit in silence. That's the first order. Turn off the noise that has been drowning out your own voice for years. No music, no scrolling, no background chatter. Just you in the silence, the mirror that reveals everything you've been avoiding. The truth doesn't scream. It waits. It whispers in the quiet moments you keep running from. Take out a journal, not a phone, not a notes app. Write, because writing forces your thoughts into form. Make 2 columns, one labeled progress, the other decay. Under progress, list the habits, routines, and behaviors that are moving you closer to strength, discipline, and purpose. Under decay, write down everything that weakens you, every action that feeds comfort over courage, illusion over intention, distraction over destiny. Don't rush this. Don't soften the edges to protect your ego. The purpose of this audit is not to feel good. It's to see clearly. Ask yourself, what am I doing every day that actually aligns with the life I say I want? Where am I betraying my own standards for the sake of temporary pleasure? How many of my actions are genuine investments? And how many are emotional transactions that leave me empty afterward? What have I been pretending not to know? When you're brutally honest, patterns begin to emerge. You'll see how your mornings predict your mindset, how your conversations mirror your confidence, and how your environment quietly shapes your ambition. You'll notice the subtle ways you've been self-sabotaging, like promising yourself a new routine every Sunday only to break it by Tuesday, or telling yourself you're working on it when deep down you've been hiding from it. Most people never do this kind of internal audit because it's painful. It dismantles the false image they've spent years protecting. But the ones who do, the ones who have the courage to look at their life with surgical precision, gain the power of awareness. And awareness is everything. You can't fight an invisible enemy, and you can't fix what you refuse to face. The ruthless inventory forces you to admit something that's both terrifying and liberating. You are both the cause and the cure. Your choices built this reality, and your choices can build a better one. When you begin this process, don't expect to feel inspired. Expect resistance. Expect your mind to justify, rationalize, and deflect. Expect your ego to whisper, "You're doing fine. Don't be so hard on yourself." That voice is the guardian of your comfort zone. It will fight for its survival, but you must fight harder. Ask yourself, who am I when no one's watching? That's the truest version of you, the one your future depends on. Audit your daily life as if you were investigating someone you don't fully trust. Because in truth, you've broken promises to yourself too many times. You've said you'd start tomorrow enough to know that tomorrow never comes unless you drag it here yourself. Every line you write, every flaw you acknowledge, every truth you accept, it's a weapon. You are arming yourself with clarity, and clarity is the most dangerous weapon in a world built on confusion. Do not confuse this inventory with self-loathing. This isn't about tearing yourself apart. It's about understanding where the cracks are, so you can rebuild stronger. The man who refuses to confront his weaknesses will forever be ruled by them. The man who studies them becomes untouchable. Once the inventory is complete, look at your notes. Let the truth sink in. Don't run from the discomfort. It's the currency of transformation. That heaviness you feel is the weight of potential pressing against the cage you've built around yourself. This process strips away illusions until only raw data remains. The facts of your life, the patterns of your behavior, the proof of your priorities. And that's when you'll realize something powerful. Your life is not random. It's perfectly designed to produce the results you're getting. Change the design, and you change everything. From this point forward, no more guessing. No more hoping things get better. You'll have a map of your strengths and weaknesses, a mirror showing where to focus your will. This is how warriors are forged. Not in glory, but in reflection. Not in applause, but in solitude. So tonight, when the world goes quiet and the excuses fade, begin your audit. Open that journal. Confront the mirror. Count your wasted hours, your neglected gifts, your broken promises. And then, don't look away. Because that's the moment the war begins. Not against the world, but against the part of you that would rather stay blind. Face it, write it, accept it, then rise above it. That's how self-mastery begins. Step 2, identify the leaks. Once you've done the ruthless inventory, once you've stripped away your illusions and faced what's really there, you'll begin to see something deeper. The leaks. These leaks are subtle. They don't announce themselves. They disguise as harmless habits, innocent diversions, or well-deserved breaks. But make no mistake, these are the slow bleeds of your potential. And left unchecked, they drain your strength until nothing remains but exhaustion and regret. You don't fall all at once. You erode. One distraction at a time, one compromise at a time, one "I'll start tomorrow" at a time. The leaks are found in the small things, because the small things are everything. Think of your life as a reservoir of energy, purpose, and mental clarity. Every action you take either fills that reservoir or punctures it. Every hour spent in alignment adds pressure, momentum, power. Every hour wasted on mindless scrolling, empty conversation, or dopamine-chasing entertainment drains it dry. You can't rise while you're leaking. Start by observing your impulses. When you reach for your phone, ask why. When you procrastinate on your purpose, ask what emotion are you trying to avoid. Most of your leaks aren't caused by laziness. They're symptoms of avoidance. You're not unmotivated. You're distracted by pain you haven't faced. The leak isn't the scrolling. It's the need to escape. The leak isn't the junk food. It's the craving for control. The leak isn't the late-night binge. It's the fear of silence. Every leak tells a story about what you haven't healed. And if you never read that story, you'll keep repeating it. Audit your time with forensic precision. Write down how you spend every hour for 3 days straight. Don't lie. Don't justify. At the end of each day, review it and ask, was this progress or postponement? You'll be shocked at how much of your life slips through unnoticed cracks. Minutes turn into hours. Hours turn into days. And those days become the very years you thought you'd use to get serious. To identify the leaks, you must train your awareness like a sniper trains his aim. Because leaks hide behind justifications. I need to relax. It's only 5 minutes. I deserve a break. These phrases are the lullabies that put ambition to sleep. Here's the hard truth. Quick dopamine is the most expensive drug on earth. You pay for it with your potential. Every hit makes it harder to feel satisfaction from real progress. And soon, the simple act of doing the work feels unbearable. You've conditioned your brain to crave the cheap rush instead of the lasting victory. The leaks also hide in your environment. The people you surround yourself with can either patch your discipline or puncture it. Pay attention. Who encourages your excuses? Who validates your weakness instead of challenging it? Who drains your focus the moment you begin to rise? Sometimes, the biggest leak in your life wears a friendly face. When you identify a leak, don't negotiate with it. Seal it immediately. Don't try to reduce it. Eliminate it. Block the app. End the conversation. Change your environment. Whatever it takes. Because leaks don't fix themselves. They expand. And every second you delay the repair, you lose ground. But here's the paradox. When you start sealing leaks, your mind will rebel. It's addicted to chaos. It fears silence because silence forces self-awareness. You'll feel an emptiness at first, a restlessness. That's not boredom. It's withdrawal from your own dysfunction. Don't run from it. Sit in it. That emptiness is the space where focus is born. When you eliminate what drains you, clarity rushes in to fill the void. Suddenly, your thoughts sharpen. Your actions align. Your energy increases. You begin to feel what true power feels like. Not the manic energy of escapism, but the calm dominance of control. That's the reward of sealing leaks. You start to own your time again. You begin to trust yourself again. You become the kind of person whose focus is dangerous because it can't be hijacked by impulse or noise. And once you reach that state, you start seeing what others can't. While they're drowning in distractions, you're quietly building empires. While they're chasing stimulation, you're mastering strategy. While they're losing themselves in the fog, you're charting the path through it. Remember, the difference between the powerful and the powerless isn't luck, intelligence, or talent. It's energy direction. The powerful conserve and channel it. The powerless leak it until they have nothing left. So, take this step seriously. Identify your leaks, no matter how small. Because every leak you close is a portal you reclaim. One that leads back to your strength, your purpose, and your sovereignty. This step is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about taking back control of the invisible. And when you master this, your life becomes airtight. Every move has meaning. Every thought has weight. Every day compounds. You stop being the victim of unseen forces and become the architect of unseen power. Seal your leaks. Protect your energy. Guard your mind like it's the last fortress of sanity in a world addicted to distraction, because it is. Step 3. Recalibrate your systems. Now that you've faced the truth and sealed your leaks, it's time to build something powerful. A system that sustains your evolution, because willpower fades, motivation burns out, emotion is volatile. But systems endure. Your current life is perfectly designed to produce your current results. If you don't like those results, it's not because you're broken, it's because your system is. Every outcome you experience, your energy, your income, your focus, your relationships, is the byproduct of invisible processes running on autopilot beneath your awareness. So the goal here isn't to try harder. Trying harder is a short-term strategy. The goal is to re-engineer the machine itself. Start with your mornings. Your morning is the command center of your day. It determines whether you enter battle prepared or exposed. Stop treating your mornings like accidents and start treating them like rituals. Wake before the world does. Before the noise, before the messages, before the demands of the day can hijack your peace. You need those quiet hours, the solitude, to anchor yourself. This is where you reprogram your mind for clarity. Before touching your phone, touch your mission. Ask, what do I want today to mean? What must I conquer before the world awakens? Write your answers down. Don't let them drift as thoughts. Crystallize them as intentions. Then move your body. Discipline your flesh early, and your mind will follow. A short workout, a cold shower, deep breathing. It's not about aesthetics. It's about priming your nervous system for dominance. You are training your body to obey command, not comfort. From there, read or meditate. Feed your mind something sharp, not shallow. Remember, the first thing you consume sets the tone for the next 12 hours. If you start with noise, you'll chase noise. If you start with stillness, you'll create clarity. That's the first system. Morning clarity. Your mornings should not be random. They should be ritualistic precision. Next, rebuild your daily structure. The middle of the day is where most people lose control. It's where distractions creep in disguised as urgent tasks. This is where the system saves you. Every morning, define your non-negotiables, the 3 critical tasks that directly move you closer to your vision. These are not busy work. They are leverage points. If completed, they shift the trajectory of your life. Now lock these tasks into specific time blocks. Defend those blocks like your life depends on them, because it does. This is not about obsession. It's about respect for your own potential. If someone tries to interrupt those hours, remember, saying yes to them means saying no to yourself. Guard your time with the same aggression you guard your breath. Build microsystems for flow. Create triggers that signal it's time to perform. A specific playlist, a candle, a notebook, anything that conditions your brain to enter a deep work state on command. Flow is not an accident. It's a result of repetition and ritual. And when fatigue comes, don't escape. Reset. Step outside, hydrate, breathe, then return to the battlefield. That's the second system. Daily execution. Your day is not something to survive. It's something to design. Then, reinforce with evening reflection. Your nights determine your growth. They're not just the end of the day. They're the foundation for the next one. Before sleep, run a silent review. What did I win today? Where did I drift? What lesson did the day try to teach me? Don't do this to punish yourself. Do it to refine your awareness. The difference between failure and mastery is reflection. You can't evolve if you never analyze your data. Write your reflections down. Even a few sentences matter. Because your mind forgets what your soul tries to teach you. Those notes become your internal manual, a blueprint of lessons forged through experience. Then, disconnect. Power down. You've earned silence. Don't end your day with digital chaos. End it with gratitude and intention. You're closing the mental tabs so your subconscious can process and heal while you rest. That's the third system. Evening integration. Sleep is not an escape. It's a tool for evolution. Now build the system around you. Your environment either amplifies your systems or dismantles them. Audit your space. Does it serve your purpose or your distractions? Clean your workspace. Remove the clutter that clouds your thinking. Replace visual noise with order. When your environment is chaotic, your mind is burdened with invisible friction. Surround yourself with cues that reinforce your identity. Books that challenge you. Objects that remind you of your mission. Words that pull you forward. Every detail matters. And most importantly, guard your circle. People are environmental systems too. Keep company with those who respect discipline, who are not threatened by ambition, who are willing to audit themselves. If they're not building, they're breaking. Choose wisely. That's the fourth system. Environmental alignment. Your surroundings should whisper your vision back to you. Finally, automate your discipline. Recalibration is not about doing more. It's about designing your life so that doing the right thing becomes automatic. Set cues. Set reminders. Set rituals. Make discipline inevitable. For example, schedule focus hours at the same time every day. Place your journal on your pillow, so you must reflect before sleeping. Keep your gym clothes ready the night before. Use apps that block distractions during your work blocks. This is how you transfer discipline from emotion to structure. Because when life gets heavy, and it will, you need your systems to carry you when your willpower falters. That's the fifth system, automation of strength. When you build structure around your highest self, weakness has nowhere to hide. The point of it all. Systems are the scaffolding of greatness. They turn good intentions into consistent execution. They protect your focus from chaos. They allow you to rise without burning out. When your systems are aligned with your mission, your success becomes inevitable. When they're misaligned, failure becomes automatic. So, design deliberately. Your life is a machine. Tune it until every part hums with purpose. Because in a world drowning in randomness, the one who lives by structure becomes unstoppable. Step 4. Face the darkness. Daily, you face the truth. You've sealed the leaks. You've built your systems. Now comes the hardest part, maintenance. Because the darkness doesn't vanish when you evolve. It adapts. It learns your rhythms. It waits for you to get comfortable again. Every single day, it will test your progress. It will whisper in the back of your mind, "You've done enough." It will try to lure you back into comfort disguised as peace, distraction disguised as reward. That's why the step, facing the darkness daily, isn't optional. It's survival. You see, the world doesn't grow easier when you grow stronger. It grows sharper. The challenges become quieter, subtler, more internal. When you start rising, life doesn't stop testing you. It simply changes the exam. And so, every morning, every night, you must stand guard at the gates of your mind. You must look inward with the same intensity that you pursue outward success. Because the greatest threat to your growth isn't failure, it's forgetting. Forgetting the hunger. Forgetting the fight. Forgetting what it took to rise. What does facing the darkness mean? It means confronting every hidden weakness before it becomes a visible downfall. It means acknowledging the parts of you that sabotage progress, the fear, the doubt, the craving for validation, and dissecting them without mercy. You cannot conquer what you won't confront. The warrior doesn't wait for enemies to appear at the gate. He scouts the shadows inside his own walls. Facing the darkness daily is a practice of radical awareness. It's self-inspection through silence. It's catching yourself in real time. When your hand reaches for the phone instead of your journal. When your mouth opens to complain instead of commit. When your mind starts rationalizing why mediocrity is good enough. Every time you catch yourself and correct yourself, you strengthen the neural muscle of mastery. You are literally rewiring your mind to choose discipline over decay. The darkness within. Understand this. The darkness isn't the enemy. It's the raw material of strength. It's the part of you that carries your fears, your insecurities, your pain, but also your drive, your aggression, your hunger to evolve. When you repress it, it turns toxic. When you integrate it, it becomes power. Most people run from it. They hide behind distractions, spirituality, or empty optimism. They seek light while pretending the dark doesn't exist. But true mastery isn't found in denial. It's found in integration. The warrior knows how to walk into the cave each day, not to escape it, but to study it. He learns from the patterns of his own weakness. He notices when pride creeps in, when complacency begins to whisper, when fear begins to disguise itself as logic. The more often you face your darkness, the less power it has to manipulate you. Because awareness turns demons into data. Create the daily ritual. You must turn self-confrontation into ritual. The same way a soldier sharpens his blade before every mission, you sharpen your awareness before every day. Morning. Before you start your day, pause for 2 minutes of silence. Ask, what emotion is trying to control me right now? Am I operating from courage or from fear? What's one weakness I need to watch today? Be honest. If it's laziness, name it. If it's ego, acknowledge it. Naming your darkness disarms it. Midday, check in. When frustration hits, when energy dips, when temptation to escape arises, pause. Ask yourself, is this a test or a trap? A test strengthens you. A trap drains you. The difference is awareness. Night. Before bed, reflect. Where did you drift? Where did you hesitate? What triggered your emotional collapse? You're not judging yourself. You're collecting intelligence. You're studying the patterns of your enemy, which happens to be you. This is not about perfection. It's about precision. You're learning how your darkness behaves so you can stay one move ahead. The emotional resistance. At first, this will feel uncomfortable. You'll want to avoid it. The mind doesn't like being observed. It will fight back. It will distract you with everything. Tasks, notifications, sudden hunger, endless noise. That's the sign you're getting close. The ego is terrified of being seen, because the moment you see it clearly, it loses control. Don't run. Sit in that discomfort. Watch your mind squirm. That's the purification process, the fire that burns away delusion. Your goal is not to defeat the darkness. It's to understand its language, to recognize the tone of your self-sabotage before it takes command. When you can catch your weakness in real time, you become untouchable. You can feel fear and still act. You can feel anger and still think. You can feel doubt and still move. That is mastery. Transformation. Through integration. The more often you face your inner shadows, the stronger your light becomes. Not because the darkness disappears, but because you have learned to command it. Your pain becomes discipline. Your doubt becomes curiosity. Your fear becomes fuel. That's the transformation. When the parts of you that once held you back now serve your evolution. The warrior doesn't live without darkness. He walks with it. He carries it like armor, polished through self-awareness, hardened through humility. He knows that inside every weakness is a hidden strength waiting to be extracted. The daily vow. When you wake up tomorrow, take a silent vow. I will not hide from myself today. That one line repeated daily can change your life. Because self-awareness creates momentum, and momentum builds power. Face the darkness every day, not as a victim, but as a commander. Inspect your emotions like an engineer. Study your behavior like a strategist, and observe your thoughts like a scientist. You are not your impulses. You are the one who chooses how to use them. That's the secret of every disciplined, powerful, and unbreakable person. The ones who fall are those who stop looking inward. The ones who rise are those who meet their darkness head-on, every single day, and turn it into gold. Final words. Make this a daily discipline. Self-confrontation, self-observation, self-command. When others run from discomfort, you walk into it. When others hide from their weaknesses, you document yours. Because the world will always test you, but the test is never external. It's you versus you. And the one who faces their own darkness daily will never fear the dark again. Step 5. Execute with cold precision. You've faced your truths. You've sealed your leaks. You've rebuilt your systems. You've stared into your darkness. Now comes the part that separates dreamers from dominators. Execution. Everything before this step has been preparation. But preparation means nothing if it never transforms into motion. The world does not bend for the ones who plan. It bends for the ones who act. This is where warriors are forged. Not in theory, not in reflection, but in the battlefield of execution, where hesitation costs momentum and hesitation kills. To execute with cold precision is to move with ruthless clarity, stripped of hesitation, free of emotional interference. It's the ability to take disciplined action, even when your mind screams for comfort and your heart craves delay. The myth of motivation. Too many people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. But the truth is brutal. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie invented by the weak to justify inaction. The warrior does not wait for the perfect mood, the perfect timing, or the perfect environment. He creates momentum through movement. The cold executor understands something sacred. Emotion follows action, not the other way around. You don't move because you feel disciplined. You feel disciplined because you moved. Every time you take action despite resistance, you carve a neural path that says, I move first. Feelings can catch up later. That is how identity is rebuilt. Action by action, moment by moment, from decision to deployment. Most people are trapped in the purgatory between decision and action. They know what to do, but they delay. They plan endlessly, overthink endlessly, talk endlessly, while life quietly drains away. Cold precision eliminates that gap. When you decide, you deploy. You move from I should to I will. There's no waiting, no negotiation, no internal debate. You execute like a machine that knows its orders and obeys without hesitation. Because hesitation is a virus. It infects the mind, multiplies, and paralyzes your will. You must recondition your brain to associate speed with power. When you get an idea aligned with your mission, act. When your conscience demands a correction, act. When opportunity knocks, act. Stop analyzing yourself into paralysis. Execution brings feedback. Feedback brings clarity, and clarity brings mastery. The thinker drowns in possibility. The executor builds empires from it. The art of measured action. Precision does not mean chaos. It's not reckless energy. It's calculated aggression. Cold precision is discipline sharpened into instinct. It's knowing when to strike and when to stay still. Every action must align with your long-term vision. Every move must serve the mission. This requires a constant balancing act, controlled speed. Think like a sniper. You don't spray and pray. You breathe, you lock in, and you fire one shot that changes everything. That's how execution should feel. Measured, intentional, lethal. Before every major move, ask, does this align with the system I built? Does it advance my long-term strategy? Does it strengthen me or distract me? If it aligns, execute instantly. If it doesn't, eliminate it ruthlessly. Your energy must become directional, focused. Every decision should either create progress or protect it. Nothing else deserves your time. The elimination of excuses. Cold precision leaves no room for excuses. Because excuses are just rationalized weakness, words used to decorate failure. Every time you say, I don't have time, what you really mean is, it's not a priority. Every time you say, I'm waiting for the right moment, what you mean is, I'm scared. Every time you say, I'm tired, what you mean is, I've lost purpose. The executor doesn't entertain excuses because he understands a universal truth. Life doesn't reward reasons, only results. You must train yourself to operate on command. Set a standard. When you say you will do something, it happens. Period. No emotion, no debate, no delay. You cannot trust someone who breaks their word. And that includes yourself. When you fail to keep promises to your own soul, you fracture your identity. You teach your subconscious that your words mean nothing. The goal of cold precision is to rebuild that trust, to turn every declaration into law, emotionless focus. To execute at the highest level, you must remove emotion from performance. Emotion clouds judgment. Emotion delays movement. Emotion breeds hesitation. This doesn't mean becoming heartless. It means becoming strategic. You can feel emotion, but you must not obey it. The disciplined mind recognizes emotion, processes it, and acts regardless. If fear whispers, move anyway. If doubt creeps in, execute regardless. If pain appears, transmute it into power. Because emotion is temporary, but action echoes. Consistency is a weapon. Cold precision isn't about one day of greatness. It's about uninterrupted accuracy over time. The world doesn't fall to those who act once. It falls to those who act relentlessly. Your systems mean nothing if you don't repeat them daily. Execution must become identity. You don't try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't attempt focus. You embody it. The longer you stay consistent, the more compound power you create. Every disciplined day multiplies the one before it. Every focused action builds momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable force. Consistency makes you inevitable. The calibration of precision. Execution without reflection leads to burnout. Reflection without execution leads to stagnation. Cold precision requires both. After each day of action, review the data. Where did you execute perfectly? Where did you hesitate? Where did emotion interfere? Refine, adjust. Eliminate waste. Strengthen efficiency. This constant calibration turns execution into an art form. You're not just working. You're engineering your excellence. The psychological edge. Most people think execution is about doing. It's not. It's about becoming. Every time you act decisively, you harden your identity. You prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. You become a weapon, sharp, intentional, and unyielding. And that's when the world starts to shift around you. Because people sense when someone operates with precision. They feel the gravity of your energy, the certainty in your movements. You no longer chase, you draw. You no longer ask, you command. This is power, not noise, not ego, certainty. Execution as a spiritual discipline. In the higher sense, execution is not about doing more. It's about aligning with your divine rhythm. You were not put here to hesitate. You were put here to create. Execution is creation in motion. It's prayer through action. It's your soul speaking fluently through your deeds. Every time you execute with cold precision, you honor the force that made you. You declare to the universe, I am not wasting what I was given. Final words. The journey of self-mastery ends here, not with a reflection, but with motion. The time for planning, analyzing, and waiting is over. From now on, you act. Act before you're ready. Act when you're afraid. Act when no one believes in you. Act when the voice in your head tells you it's pointless. Act until doubt stops speaking your language. Because hesitation kills empires before they're born. And precision, executed daily, relentlessly, with discipline, is how you carve your name into eternity. This is the final law. Execution is worship. Precision is power. Action is the altar. You've done the audit. You've seen the truth. Now move with cold precision and let the world feel your presence. Everything you've just uncovered, every truth, every correction, Every system, every battle within, is building toward this moment. The moment where awareness transforms into power. Because knowledge without action is dead weight. But knowledge with execution, that's transformation. You now understand what most never will. Success is not found in luck, opportunity, or talent. It's born from self-awareness, discipline, and the willingness to face your own reflection without flinching. The world will always be uncertain. The future will always be unstable. But you can be unshakable. When you conduct your ruthless inventory, you strip away illusion. When you identify your leaks, you reclaim your energy. When you recalibrate your systems, you rebuild structure. When you face your darkness, you master yourself. And when you execute with cold precision, you become unstoppable. This is the blueprint of evolution. The process of becoming what this chaotic world no longer teaches. A grounded, powerful, self-directed human being. Remember, uncertainty is not the enemy. It's the test. The ones who fail it are those who wait for safety before they act. The ones who rise are those who act before they feel safe. So as the noise of this world grows louder, stay silent. As the masses chase distraction, move with purpose. As the weak seek comfort, build systems of strength. As fear whispers, slow down, move faster. And when your darkness comes calling again, and it will, welcome it. Study it. Use it. Because the ones who have faced their own shadows cannot be controlled. They walk through chaos with calm precision. They no longer seek the light. They become it. This is your command now. Audit your soul. Confront your weakness. Design your system. Face your darkness. Execute with precision. Do it daily. Do it relentlessly. Do it until your very existence becomes a message to the world that discipline still lives, that mastery still matters, that warriors still rise. You are no longer a passenger in your own story. You are the architect, the executor, the weapon. So move forward without apology, without hesitation, without fear. And when they ask what drives you, tell them the truth. I audited my soul, and I chose evolution. Carpe noctem, seize the night, and make it yours.